Today we'll be talking about source music and underscoring. I'm Lynn, and my group members are Cynthia, Tommy, Emma, and Karl. Source music, also referred to music in a drama, the musical cue has a place and is part of the setting. The actors in the audience can hear the music. It can be background music, aka radio or TV, or it can be produced by the actors themselves as part of the plot. For underscoring, this means that the musical cue doesn't have a place. It is typically played or heard under a spoken dialogue or under a visual scene to establish a mood or theme.
Source music is usually used to help build the mise en scene or create a tone that enhances the immersion of the film. This can be done to bring the audience into the scene or make the viewer understand what the characters are feeling. Underscoring is utilized in scenes to emphasize the mood, action, or dialogue. In this use, it can create tension where it would not have been present without the music. With the music being non-diegetic, the director can choose just how integral the music is to the scene.
The first scene uses source music as it shows the couple walking into a beautiful cafe. A soft romantic song is being played by a man playing the piano who gives Madeline a look as if she were familiar. Many guests around the restaurant also stare at her. When the major walks up to the table to confront the man she's with, the music goes silent, which indicates tension between the two men. Source music is used again as a live performer sings and plays the guitar. More glances are exchanged throughout the restaurant. The music is joyful, which is opposite from the mood that the characters are in. Eventually, Rick walks to her as the man playing the piano is playing a song that overwhelms her with emotion. The underscoring begins in the scene when Madeline's eyes fill with tears during the song being played. The scene transitions into silence as Rick is drinking alone later that evening. The piano player comes in the room and he stays with Rick a while he is depressed. Source music is used again when the piano player plays melancholy music, but Rick demands he plays the song played earlier to Madeline. The score transitions into a full orchestral version of the song as the montage begins of Rick and Madeline. The next scene, which shows tanks and an army, has very intense underscoring and rumbles of an orchestra, indicating chaos and battle. The next montage uses source music. The same piano player from earlier plays melancholy music, only to be interrupted by a loud voice and the same war music as they watch the soldiers outside the window. Another switch to romantic underscoring as cannons fire in the background. She bangs her fist on the table and the underscoring gets very intense, again as Rick waits for her in the rain to get on the train. After the montage ends, a tense but romantic underscoring happens as she walks into the room with Rick. The underscoring switches between tense and romantic music as she cries, and he continues to drink and eventually passes out. The way that these few scenes in Casablanca weave romantic and tense underscoring and source music is incredible. It enhances the scenes and demonstrates Rick and Madeline's emotions without distracting away from the dialogue or acting. The way the montage uses the music played by the man playing the piano and it transitions seamlessly into a full orchestra indicates a romantic montage about to take place. The underscoring and source music are used very strategically to tie together the complex emotions of this estranged couple. The mostly joyful source music went counter to the sorrow and misery of Rick, while the underscoring matched the true despair felt by Rick when she didn't get on the train with him.
The scene opens up with a camera panning out following a car that goes around a building and pans throughout the street, showing traffic and pedestrians as they go. And the scene ends with the intro of the actors and directors. This has great representation of the location. The ominous music really suits the slightly off or partially mysterious theme. The intro set clearly showing the setting of the intro as well. The emphasis on movement, specifically the camera movement, is pretty good in that it follows the main area of focus and it gives the audience the feeling that they're almost seeing the scene from an open perspective. And the anticipation of the subsequent action is perfect in that the scene is sounding ominous and mysterious and is off compared to what is going on with the scene, and that there's a peaceful car driving around when there's a mysterious tone being played at the hand. The source music and underscoring was an ominous tone that gives the audience the feeling of eeriness and mystery. This impacts the understanding of the scenes by making the audience wonder on what is happening and what is going on and what is going to happen next. It makes the audience want to know what's going to happen next, and it just makes them want to understand why this music is being played over a pretty peaceful scene that doesn't seem like it fits with the music. However, another function would be to start the introduction of film. As the film begins, it starts with a good ominous tone that brings in a good general theme that sets up the rest of the film, providing support for the setting, and that it helps make the setting more clear to the audience.
The picture opens with an opening by Universal International, along with some source music to set the mood and scene. The scene opens with what looks like a man priming a bomb and then putting it into the trunk of a car that an unsuspecting couple is about to get into. The scene continues with the car pulling out onto an intersection where a policeman is directing traffic. After many cars go by, the couple in the vehicle proceeds down the road. The main focus then shifts from the couple in the car to a couple crossing the crosswalk. The walking couple continues until they are questioned by a policeman in front of the immigration office. The couple in the car then proceeds through the same area where we hear the lady mention hearing a ticking noise. The walking couple starts to embrace each other right as the car blows up. The source music that starts the scene gives a feeling of ominous energy because the audience doesn't know really what is going on with the bomb. It is interesting how the ticking of a bomb is almost emulated in the beginning music with the percussion elements. The music transitions to an almost fun or carefree feeling, and you almost forget about the danger of the bomb. The music also conveys the geographical setting of Mexico. Once the couple is in the vehicle, there is additional source music coming from the radio in the car. This music helps set the scene again, but this time in the time period opposed to the geographic location. We continue to hear the radio music fade in and out while the walking couple gets past and eventually passes the car by the immigration station. The original source music from the very beginning of the film, when the bomb is first seen, fades back into the scene and picks up tempo until the bomb explodes. This music gives the audience a little bit of foreshadowing that something bad is about to happen. It is interesting that the two versions can have a few differences, yet still have a large impact on the mood and feeling that the audience receives. The two major differences are that the studio release is somewhat obvious in the music they use to present the ominous feelings of danger, while the restored version gives you a clue in the very beginning and then backs off. I also think you can focus more on what is happening in the restored version since there are no titles and opening credits hogging the visual space, and you can really concentrate on the scene at hand.